welcome to our show, Film Talk with AJ Dean. I'm AJ Dean, your host, and look out, everybody. I'm super thrilled tonight. We have a very special VIP in the building. My friend from Clubhouse, that's where we met, Mr. Floyd Marshall Jr. Hey, Floyd Marshall Jr., how you doing, sir?
Hi, AJ Dean. I am doing so well, and it is such an honor and a privilege to be here. I am so excited. I am starting my 2025 year off the right way.
You sure are. Absolutely. Now, let me tell the audience and all your fans a little bit about you. It's so amazing that you're here. Thank you so much. And we've got a lot to talk about. I'm so thrilled to have your presence here, Floyd. Floyd Marshall Jr., he CEO of Gazelle Film Production Company. He's a producer, writer, podcaster, mentor. He's also an author of a book called Film Business, Business, beginning launching your film business. It's on Amazon for $19.99. You can pick it up there. But he's done so many things. Did I mention you're the creator of the Independent Film Awards? My gosh, it's incredible. You've done so much, and we're going to jump right into it, Floyd. And congratulations, you recently retired. So
Yes, I did.
let's talk about that. Over to you, Floyd. What did you do? How do you feel about retirement? Let's hear you.
I I am just over the moon that I am now fully retired. I worked 31 and a half years for public transportation, the fifth largest public transportation um, company in the nation, Southeastern Pennsylvania Transportation Association, SEPTA. And again, I did that for 31 and a half years. So it was a journey. And back in October, my family and I, we went away to the Dominican Republic mid-October for my 37th wedding anniversary. And when I came back, I went to work on a Monday, went to work on a Tuesday, and I came home Tuesday night and I sat on the couch with my wife and I said, I'm done. I said, that's it. I'm ready to retire. And she was like, what? I said, yeah, I'm ready to retire. So I have actually not been to work since the second week in October, and I officially retired December the 1st of 2024. So I'm really excited because my 24 hours are actually mine again, and it hasn't been that way for a very long time.
Finally, one of us made it. I'm so proud of you. Congratulations to you and
Thank
your wife.
you.
She must be over the moon. So happy now that you're there. You get to sleep in. You don't have to wake up to the alarm clock and all that stuff, right?
It is so amazing, AJ. It took me a while to get used to that. It's really surreal because I've been working since I was 13 and I'm 58. So, working for my family and then going into the military and coming out of the military and working in retail and then going to work for public transportation. So I've worked practically my entire life. So to actually not have to punch a clock takes getting used to because you're so used to, and I got used to it really quickly, but it was interesting because I would wake up and just lie there and say, I don't have to go to work today. So now what?
Amazing.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm really happy.
I'm
Really
so
happy.
I'm so happy. I'm super happy for you
Yeah.
as well, Floyd. Super duper happy. And I want to thank you for your service in the military as
Thank
well.
you. Thank you so
And
much.
working since you were 13. Wow. Okay.
Yes.
So you made a transition to the entertainment industry, and you started out modeling. I read your bio
Mhm.
and a little bit of acting. And I want to know where you were born and how you grew up. But this is interesting because usually you're doing the interviewing, and here
Yes.
you're on the other side, and it's such a thrill and pleasure to have you. So take it away.
Thank you so much again. Grew up in Philadelphia, born and raised. Still living right outside of Philadelphia in a suburb called Bensalem, which is right outside of Philadelphia. Grew up there with five brothers and sisters, middle class family, mom and dad in a house, and regular childhood. Hanging out with friends and family. Basically all the time. basketball. Practically every summer, that's what we did was just basketball, pickup games, football, baseball. Very sports oriented, and it was a pretty cool childhood. I have no complaints about it.
I'm happy to hear that.
Yeah.
I'm so happy to hear that. And it sounds like a lot of fun, a lot of sports and activity, and you no doubt kept in shape and fit, growing up and that. And then you had leans towards the entertainment industry. So tell us a little bit about that. How did you get into the entertainment industry?
Very interesting story. One of my youngest daughter's classmates when she was in kindergarten, because I used to have locks. So one day her mom came over because they lived over in the next block, the next street over, and she said, "You could be a model," because she worked for this modeling agency. And she said, "You could be a model." And AJ, before that, I had never thought about anything related to the entertainment industry. Now, I will say this. I have always been an avid reader. When kids were outside playing, I would be reading. So I was always into reading, and I was always a creative writer. So I was kind of leaning toward the industry without even knowing it. But when she said I could be a model, I said, "Oh, I'll try this out." So I ended up going with this modeling agency, which turned out to not really be a modeling agency. It was kind of a scam. But here's the thing: I took my headshots, and then I got, it's the card where you have your main shot on the front, and then you have three different looks on the back. It's been so long I can't remember the name of it.
Oh,
But
composite. I
a
had one.
composite card, yes. So what I ended up doing was, when I got my composite cards, and they were pretty nice. I paid a lot of money for them, but they were very nice. So I ended up taking them to different agencies in Philadelphia, and they were like, "Well, no, we're not really interested." And I went to a place called John Robert Powers, and I dropped off my comp card. And the next day, I got a phone call from the owner, Mindy Sills, and she
Wow.
says, "I would like for you to come down and join my modeling school." And that is where my entertainment career began, starting out as a print model, extra in television commercials and things like that, and then segued into independent film. So yeah, that's where I got my start.
Incredible. I love that. It's so
Mhm,
funny. We have something in common. We have a lot in common, but we have
mhm.
another thing in common, Floyd, and that is I had kind of a similar route to that.
Oh wow,
Yeah, and isn't that interesting? So, and I feel we're destined to be in the entertainment industry.
yeah.
Do you feel you're destined to be in the entertainment
You
industry?
know what, AJ? Yeah, because again, before she said you could be a model, I was kind of going in that direction without even knowing it. It's interesting because I'm a big believer in mindset. I'm also a big believer in energy.
Yeah,
So, and that your mind is a big radio antenna. And when you're sending out a certain frequency, the universe is listening and sending things back. So, unbeknownst to me, I was actually sending out those signals because, again, I was a creative writer, and the universe was actually listening. And it took some
right.
time, but the universe was listening and said, "Okay, so that's where you're going, unbeknownst to yourself, but I hear it, so I'm going to start steering you in that direction." Yeah, so that was very interesting.
I love that. I love the power of positivity and your positive thinking, Floyd. It's one of the many, we met in, I think, Yvette's New
Yes.
Hollywood Club, and all of the great people are in the Angel and everybody, and Robert Tisdale, and just so many great people, and you, and that's their philosophy too, is positivity and moving
Mhm.
forward, isn't it? And I love that.
Yes, that is one of the best rooms on Clubhouse. And the thing that I really like about Yvette's room, one of the only rooms that are left on Clubhouse where you can go and build phenomenal organic relationships with industry people if that's what you're doing. But everyone is so authentic and they're so real. And I would always tell my wife, the things that you learn in that room, if you were to go to school, it will cost you thousands of dollars. But people would come in and offer their expertise for free. And it would always amaze me when people would say, "Well, I'm not getting anything out of Clubhouse." I'm like, "Well, if you're not getting anything out of Clubhouse by just sitting in the audience with a pen and a pad, then you're not really listening to what's going on, and you're doing yourself a disservice because a lot of the things that I've learned over the last couple of years came from those rooms. A
Yeah.
lot of the things that people will see in my book, if they choose to buy it, came out of those rooms. You know,
Wow.
I'm a big believer in gaining as much knowledge from knowledgeable people as I can. So the fact that I would be able to, go in there and listen to you and listen to Yvette, the Angel, Robert, and so many other amazing people
Yes.
just deepened my knowledge and my education on how this industry really works. So I absolutely loved it.
Me too. I'm thankful and grateful. Hello, Yvette Vargas. Thank you so much. And
Hi, Yvette.
hi, Yvette. And thank you to the Angel and Robert
Yes.
Tisdale and all those great people, Kimberly Skirm, everyone in there, and you, Floyd. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
And so, yes, this is so great that we share that, and we love independent film as well. And we've got two great posters on screen: A Child of God and Three Women. And these are independent films that you participated in. And tell us about each of them. Can we watch them? Where are they? And give us the premise of what their message was for you, Floyd.
Well, yeah, A Child of God is on YouTube. It's a Child of God short film. And that film came about because one day I was watching television and it was a news show, and they featured a young man who was transitioning into being a young lady. And I said, that would be an interesting story.
Fascinating.
And I ended up writing a script with a twist. But it was such a beautiful story to tell. I won't say too much about it if people want to go watch it,
Yes.
but it really has a message. And here's the interesting thing about that movie. When I wrote that movie, I was really excited about putting it in a lot of film festivals, and I put it or attempted to put it in over 50 festivals and got 49 rejections,
Wow.
right? But here's the thing. I ended up putting it on YouTube and it sat there. And then one day I looked at my numbers and it said 3,000 views. And then I went back, it said 6,000, and then 10,000, and 15,000, and 20,000. And I'm saying, well, what the heck is going on? What had happened was someone had watched it and they started telling their friends. And then their friends in the LGBTQ plus community started sharing it and telling their friends.
Great.
And it really caught momentum, and it ended up being used in colleges as for social workers.
Wow, Floyd.
And I'm like, what? So I say that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you so much. So I say that to say,
Yeah.
when people get a rejection, or a no, for me, no means next opportunity. But
Mhm.
it also means that just because that particular door has closed does not mean that another bigger, better door is opening for you. And that film really helped a lot of people out. I got one message, and someone says, I watched that film and I was actually about to commit suicide, but I didn't.
Oh, wow. So
And I
you,
just started bawling. And I said, what?
wow.
From watching that film.
Oh,
So
my.
I said, 49 rejections, one yes, on YouTube making impact. Those 49 no's went away immediately
Yes.
because I said the film is living where it's supposed to live.
Yeah.
Now, and as far as Three Women is concerned, my director for A Child of God, Angelique Marshall, who's actually directed every film that I've ever done, I wrote that for her. That's her movie, and that's a movie about three young ladies in college with certain proclivities, and they end up turning those things that they actually love to do for free into a business where they would serve as high-powered men. But that was another really, really, really good film, and we actually did a follow-up film to that about 2 years ago. So those are on Tubi, Three Women. So yeah,
Wow, that's fascinating. I love that. And I love the
yeah.
story of, I love them both. I love both stories.
Mhm.
And so please check them out on Tubi, right?
Yes, Three Women is on Tubi, and A Child of God is on YouTube.
Okay. And then also the three women, is it a comedy? Is there some comedy in there too? I'm
Oh
feeling
yeah, there's definitely comedy. There's definitely comedy. It's a little risque. It's a little risque,
that's
but
okay.
there's definitely comedy.
That's okay. We don't mind a bit of burlesque and that kind
Yes.
of thing. That's totally fine. And I just love these topics because again, it's about the journey, isn't it?
Yes.
Everybody has a story, and there's so many stories out there. And isn't it great to shine the light on different stories so that people it can help? You saved a life with a child of God. How
Mhm.
does that make you feel, Floyd?
I was really blown away. I had to read that a few times because again, the subject matter is, a young man transitioning to a young woman, and his father, who is a big time minister in Philadelphia, he just wasn't having it. And some things ensue, and happen in the film. And when you finish watching it, you're sitting there asking yourself and saying to the father, was your stance worth it?
Right.
And I think that's the main thing when you're talking about such a hot button topic, but especially when you're dealing with your children, because I
Yes,
have two daughters, two grown daughters. I
me
don't care how
too.
they come home, AJ. I really don't. I saw them come into the world. I don't care who you love. That's on you. You're my children. We gonna deal with it.
That's right.
That's
Amen.
how I see it.
Amen. Amen. I
Yeah.
love that. So I want to talk about your two daughters real quick, but I do want to say along with that that film is so powerful and that
Mhm.
it can save lives, and that's like the ultimate dream goal for an artist, for a filmmaker. So
Yes.
you've attained those heights.
Yeah.
And so congratulations, Floyd, on that.
Thank you.
Tell us about your two girls. Are they in the entertainment industry?
No.
You
One of my daughters is in advertising, health advertising, and the other one is a psychologist.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
Both wonderful professions. And
Yes.
hello to both of your daughters. I hope they
Hi,
watch
Elena and
this.
Aaron.
And yes, I'm sorry, what was their name? Say 'em one more time.
Elena and Aaron.
Elaine, hello, Elena. Hello, Erin. And you've got a fabulous father. So you're so blessed and so thankful that you're doing well in your careers. So many blessings to you. Floyd, I've switched the screen a little bit here, the
Okay.
second screen to Still Bittersweet
Phew.
and The Mind. And one looks like a horror and one looks like a love story, but I want to go deeper. So let's hand it over to you and tell us more about Still Bittersweet.
Still Bittersweet was my first feature film as an actor. So shout out to a gentleman by the name of Troy Nixon. We shot the film on the campus of Lincoln University. That was my first feature film. And the interesting thing about that was I met a lot of people that I'm still in contact with in the industry. And that's the thing about where you're starting, because you're starting out, you're building relationships. So, ladies and gentlemen, don't be discouraged about where you're starting, because those people that are beside you right now are going to be the people that are on along with you on the journey. And actually, one of the gentlemen who was in the film with me, Keon Smith, my wife and I, we attended him and his wife's nuptials a couple of months ago, along with Angelique. So it's a family thing. So it was great. And my other friend that was in the movie, Lionel Cook, he's an amazing cinematographer out in Los Angeles right now, doing amazing things in the Hollywood film industry. And all humble beginnings, ladies and gentlemen, but they stuck with it.
Uh-huh.
And The Mind was a horror film that I had a role in, and it actually never came out,
Oh, it
which
wasn't.
was interesting.
Oh,
It never came out. I don't know what happened, but as you know, with film, sometimes the
yeah.
money runs out. But he never released it, which was a shame, because it was such an interesting film.
Yeah, it looks it. And
Yeah, it was really interesting.
did you have
Bloody.
fun playing that? Oh, I bet it was. As a
Yeah.
horror, right? Did you have fun
Yes.
playing that? Was that your first experience in the horror genre?
It was, and it was just so weird when you're making a independent horror film. Because I remember one scene, we were in the trailer, and the young lady who ended up getting possessed by the demon, they came he someone a character came in and broke her neck. Now this is a low budget film, and when he broke her neck, he kind of turned her neck and he made the sound like
Oh.
to sound like he was breaking her neck. And I'm saying to myself, "Yo, you can't get any more low budget than that." He made
That
the
is
sound like breaking her neck. I said, "Wow, okay, but it is what it is."
that's right. That's I would call that self Foley
Yes, a self Foley, yeah, moving Foley.
self Foley sound effects.
Yes,
But
he did
I
what he had to do.
he had to do, hey, you got to do what you got to do, and that's
Yes,
how it is. Sometimes you got to be resourceful,
yes, you do.
and so okay, so that was fun. I'm glad you had that experience. Now, is that you on the cover of Still Bittersweet?
No, that was the main character.
Okay.
He in the film, I think he was a football star,
Okay.
and he tragically ended up losing his life in the film due to a hazing incident in the film because
Oh,
it was on a college campus. So it touched on some serious topics, the hazing, um, wanting to be accepted and doing things that are not right. But as with anything, when you're in that crowd and you have that pack mentality, sometimes good judgment goes out the window. So yeah, but it was a pretty good movie.
great. Congratulations. And we've all
Thank
been
you.
there, but
Yes.
I'm really happy to be at this age and stage in my life. How about you, Floyd?
Yeah, and it's so interesting. I was talking to my wife, I think last night or the day before yesterday, and we were talking about the fact that we're at the I don't give a what age. That's where we are now. I'm not really concerned with the opinions of others and how others perceive me. I don't care as long as I'm good with me, as long as God is good with me, as long as my family is good with me. As the old saying goes, people's opinions of me is none of my business. Because I
Yeah.
have to go to sleep and wake up with myself, not you. So,
Yes.
look, I'm 58. If you don't like it, you ain't got to deal with it. I could wave from across the room. We don't have to be in each other's company. You don't have to be in any in near proximity to me. I, AJ, life is too short,
Yeah.
and we have seen that up close for the last couple of days
Yeah.
with everything that's going on in Los Angeles, all the horrific loss of life and the loss of just friends, family, property. I don't have time to waste on people who are not adding to me.
Exactly.
And vice versa. If I'm not adding to you, time is the one currency we can never get back. So don't waste your currency on me. If Floyd is not your cup of tea, go get some coffee.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
My husband and I are just that same way. So,
Hmm.
and I also want to congratulate you and your wife on your marriage and the years that
Thank
you've
you.
had it because it is an achievement
Yes.
and I celebrate that.
Thank
I
you.
celebrate that with you and your, and
That's
how about
that's
you?
that's awesome. 37.
Wow, 37. Jeff, did you hear that? He's giving the thumbs up.
Yeah,
That's
we've
great.
actually been together for 44 years.
Oh,
We met when we were 15 and started dating.
how did you meet?
Oh goodness, do you have enough time? Everyone knew her but me. My sister knew her, my brothers knew her, and I was really good friends with her cousin because her cousin grew up on the same block as me up the street. She went to school with all my friends.
Meant to
So,
be, meant to be.
right. So my brother was on a porch one day, and I'm standing on the porch with him, and this girl comes walking down the street across the street, and
Oh,
I'm like, "Yo,
it's her.
who is that?" And he said, "Oh, that's Tracy." I said, "Tracy who?" He said, "Oh, she live down the street." I said, "Down the street where?" He's like, "Right there." She lived in the next block,
Wow.
and I had never seen her.
And she's the one.
She was the one.
She was the one.
Yes, she was.
Thank you, Tracy, for what?
When I saw her walking, I was like,
Oh.
"Yo, who that?"
That was it for you, right,
That was
Floyd?
it. That was a wrap.
You know, same thing. And you're right. It doesn't matter who you love,
Mhm.
anyone, everything out there that's whatever your cup of tea is your cup of tea.
There you
And
go.
so I did want to say though, I did want to ask you, who inspires you as a writer, producer, and podcaster?
Oh my
Hmm.
gosh. You know what? I love Craig T. Williams. I love James Moore.
Oh,
I, Brenda Gilbert, Cheryl Bedford,
yes,
Donna Marie, Canethia. There are so many
yeah,
different people that have really shaped me, over the last 3 to 4 years. But even going back to elementary school, my math teacher, Mr. Greg Lipinski, gave me my first Greek mythology book because, as I said, I was an avid reader, and he caught me reading in class one day, and he said, "I want you to stay after class," and the class was like, "Ooh." And he said, "Okay, Floyd, stay after class." So I'm thinking I'm in trouble. And he says, "Well, first of all, you're not supposed to be reading in class." He said, "But," he said, "I want to give you something." And he gave me my first Greek mythology book. And that opened up entire new worlds for me.
wow,
So he has been a major influence in my writing journey. My acting coach, Juicy McDaniel, my other acting coach, Darren Bevel, all of these people have shaped who I am right now, yourself. Because again, when people are talking, you know, I'm being poured into because I'm like a sponge. I take it all in.
yeah,
And even if it's not something that I can incorporate into what I'm doing, I file it away because, as you know, this business changes drastically and quickly. So even though that thing you said may not resonate or be useful right now,
yeah.
it will definitely be something that I can use 6 months to a year later. So I have so many people. We could be here all day with that one.
I love Cheryl. I love
Yeah.
Craig. I love James. And all of them that you mentioned, they're wonderful, fabulous people,
Yeah.
and they're real and they're genuine, and you can feel it when you talk on Clubhouse to
Yes.
them. And it is a beautiful thing. I'm thankful and grateful for Clubhouse because
Yes.
it has really brought so much to my life, and including meeting you and
Yeah.
other wonderful people. What current film and TV projects are you working on now? I know you're doing your
Well,
podcast, right?
yes, I'm doing my podcast, a conversation with Floyd Marshall Jr. on all streaming platforms. So go check it out. Right now, I am not writing or producing anything as far as film concerned because I'm more on the teaching side. So right now I'm with this amazing organization in Philadelphia called the Philadelphia Film Factory, and our mission is to teach youth between the ages of 13 and 17 the film business from A to Z. So that's what I'm doing.
I love that.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it's all about, the next
Yes.
generation.
Yes.
You've got such a good heart, Floyd, and you're one of the best people to do that. May I say that to you, my
Yes,
friend?
please. And I received that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, yeah. I'm so proud of you doing that. And
Thank you.
what an awesome teacher that they have with you. So I'm just that's just the coolest thing. I love, love, love that. Um, Tell us a little bit about your podcast and how people do you want people to, do you want them to contact you? Are you booking shows still, or is it as a referral, or how do you do that?
Well, right now we are booked for the year.
Yeah, I understand. I understand. And me too.
We are booked for the year, but please take a listen and leave a comment. But
Yeah,
my podcast primarily deals with African American women in the film industry because when I started it
love that.
right after the pandemic, I'm an avid podcast listener, and one thing that I kept noticing was when I would listen to podcasts, I said, now, why am I not hearing from Black women in this business? There are some dynamic Black women in this business, and I'm turning on these podcasts, and I'm not hearing
Yep.
from them.
Yep.
So, AJ, my philosophy is you can complain about it or you can do something about it. So I said, well, I'm not hearing from them. Start a podcast and interview them.
Amen.
So I started a podcast and I started interviewing, some amazing people. And a lot of our friends from Clubhouse have been on the podcast. We're going to have to get you on so I can interview you. But because normally, we're booked for the year, but for special people, I
Oh,
do special
me
days.
too.
Yes, I do. But
Thank
yeah, so the podcast is basically what we're doing now. We're just sitting here talking,
Yeah.
and that's why I called it a conversation with, because I just wanted people to sit down with me, have a conversation about what it is they do, what their journey has been in the business, and any knowledge and insight that they can offer to anyone looking to get in this business, because I can't stand gatekeeping. So
Yep.
if I can have someone come on like a Brenda Gilbert. She's been on a couple of times. When you can have someone like that who used to be the head, the co-head of Brown Entertainment, come
Yeah.
on and tell you about what it really takes to be successful in this business, or have a Donna Marie come on and talk about it, or Angela White, who owns Silver Lining Productions, come on and talk about this is how you navigate this business. I just wanted it to be something where people could have a learning experience. So that's what my podcast is all about.
It is a wonderful. It's so wonderful, and you're
Thank
so
you.
good at interviewing. You excel in that area. It's what you're supposed to do, Floyd, as well as other things in the entertainment industry. And speaking of other things in the entertainment industry, you also tell us about Start with Eight. Is that still going on, or tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Start with Eight is a mentorship program that was started by Cheryl Bedford, um, because she started Women of Color Unite and Start with Eight, because again, what she was finding in the industry was when she would go on sets, people would say, well, we can't find women of color to fill these roles, cinematographers, line producers, everything, from A to Z, editors. And Cheryl's been in this business for a long time, and she knew that that was a bunch of
Yep.
so she
Yep.
said, I tell you what,
Yeah.
since you can't find these people, I'm going to create the JTC list. And she created the JTC list, where she put together, about the JTC list, where she put together all of these dynamic
Yeah.
women in the industry. So what Start with Eight was, when she started that, what that does is that hooks up or connects eight women in the industry with a mentor.
Great.
And a couple of years ago, she approached me and she said, I would love for you to come on and be a mentor. And I'm saying, well,
Oh,
what the heck do I know? Turns out I knew more than I thought.
you
So
know a
I
lot.
yeah, you'd be amazed what you know when you start talking about it. And I did that, and it was the interesting thing about it, AJ, was the first crop of mentees thought that I was teaching them, and in actuality, they were teaching me,
Wow.
which was so amazing. And I just had a group of, you know, five just amazing young women that I'm still in touch with. I'd say, all of you are my daughters now. You're
Yeah.
all adopted. You're all my
Yep.
kids. So I'm on my second cohort now, and I actually spoke with about three of them yesterday because they're out in Los Angeles. So I said, well, we got to get on a quick Zooms call, because I need to know how each and every one of you are doing, because with everything's going on, I needed to check in. Do you need anything? Are you okay? Oh, we're okay. I
Oh,
said, well, good, because I'm a dad. So,
yeah.
but yeah, Start with Eight is an amazing mentorship program
Awesome.
that hooks up industry people with young ladies in the industry looking to further their careers. So yeah, I'm on my second cohort, and I'm so excited.
Beautiful, beautiful. So what does the next generation of film professionals need as advice, would you say, with the one thing, with the one key thing?
Learn the business of this business.
Yeah.
It's called show business for a reason. And the word business is bigger than the word show for a reason because without business, there is no show. And I love creatives, but I've spoken to way too many creatives who create, but then have absolutely no idea where that creation is going to live. So, one of the things that I like to teach young filmmakers is before you write anything down, have your concept, take your notes, but you need to figure out if this is going to be more than a hobby project, if this is something that you want to put on the screen or send to a streaming service, you need to figure out where it's going to live.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
need to figure out who your audience is. There are so many dynamics that you need to figure out before you roll camera, because oftentimes what would happen is they would make the film and they say, okay, now I'll figure out where it needs to go. No, that should have been figured out before you roll camera. So if the one piece of advice that I can give any aspiring filmmaker anywhere in this industry or anyone in it, you don't even have to be a filmmaker. If you're coming in this industry, learn the business of
Yes.
this industry because it will really put you further ahead than a lot of people, because a lot of people just don't look at this as a business.
Words of wisdom, and thank you for dropping those gems, Floyd. That's wonderful. And speaking of books and learning, film business,
Mhm.
Biznes, your book. It's available on Amazon for 19.99. Anyone can get it right now, right? They can just go to
Go get it
Amazon.
right now.
Go get it right now, and
Go get it right now.
because it's going to give you the foundation of what this industry is all about. And it is a changing industry. And
Mhm.
I don't want you to share too much info, but as you can see already, Floyd's already shared a lot of info, but there's more in his book. So please go check it out. And it's a great, it's coming up, Valentine's Day is coming up, soon.
Yes.
And what a great Valentine's Day gift for your loved one, or, a son or a daughter who's aspiring to be in the industry. So go check it out. It's great. And there's some, I saw the cover. It's fabulous. You've got beautiful, gorgeous women on there. The angels on there and a few others, just absolutely fab. So thank you for that. How can people support you or contact you, Floyd?
Well, I am on social media,
Okay.
Floyd Marshall Jr. That's all you need to know, because if you type in Floyd Marshall Jr., you can find me. That's another tip. Use your name. Use your name.
Yes,
People don't like going to look for you. Use your name.
exactly. You and I both key to go ahead.
It is so important because if you put in your name, and if your name is searched often enough, and if you hashtag it often enough, you get on Google what is called a knowledge bar, and it will hold everything that you've ever done in this business under your name.
Yeah.
So when people Google you, if you Google the stars and you see all of this stuff, all of this stuff popping up, that's a knowledge bar. And oftentimes, if you have enough stuff, Google will ask you if you put in your name. Go Google your name, ladies and gentlemen, if you're a filmmaker. And if Google asks you to claim it, that's your knowledge bar. Claim your knowledge bar because it makes your search engine optimization that much easier. But yeah, if you're looking to find me, it's Floyd Marshall Jr. on every single platform.
Great. Easy to find. Thank you for
Yes.
that. And about the film industry,
Mhm.
what could be better? What needs to still change, Floyd?
You know what? There definitely needs to be more inclusivity in this industry. If you look at the UCLA diversity report from 2022, um, you know, people of color and women have made lots of strides in this industry, but there is so much more that can be done.
Yeah.
Better storytelling. I love a good story, but unfortunately, in my opinion, so often I don't see a lot of good storytelling. There are some amazing stories out there, but there could be so much more. So if people were actually given the opportunity to come in and write their stories and tell their stories, I think that would be so phenomenal for the industry as a whole.
Absolutely. Give us a chance.
Yes,
Men of color, women in general.
yes.
Give us the opportunity, please. Let us have a chance to direct. Let us have a chance to write. That makes me so excited. I'm very passionate about that too, Floyd. So thank you
Mhm,
for saying that. And it's there still needs seriously though, there needs more work to be done.
mhm.
It needs to be, doors need to be opened up, and give us a chance. Uh,
Yeah,
Come on, it's time. It's time.
yeah. Because you know what, AJ, you keep having the same people write the same stuff, and you're sitting here, it's like, oh, so I got to watch this again. And sometimes it works. Oftentimes, unfortunately, it doesn't, unless you're talking about the big tempo movies. And they even did a study with the big tempo movies, how there's been a downturn because people are like, I'm tired of seeing the same thing.
Yes,
So if you're spending hundreds of millions of dollars
true.
and you're having flops, and the mid-range movies in the 60 to $50 million range have kind of gone away. So let's say, for instance, you're making one film for $150 million, and you have three phenomenal writers and directors that can make three films for 50 million. That's a bigger upside to me. So
Yeah.
I would hope that they would kind of go back to that, where they get to the point where mid-level budget films are being made, which have been some of the best films ever made. So we'll see.
I agree with you 100%, Floyd. That's the direction that we need to go.
Yes,
And I have faith and I have hope, and I will continue to keep that light shining. And I know you will too. So thank you for
absolutely.
that. Who would you like to work with in the film industry? Any stars? You can name celebrities, directors, anybody, or your family.
You know what? I no one in particular. I just want to work with people, and this is going to sound cheesy, but I just want to work with kind, considerate people
Mhm, mhm.
that want to see great films.
Yeah,
I don't care who you are, but if you want to see great films and people can walk on your set and they feel safe and they feel at home, that's who I want to work with. I want people to walk away and say, you know what? That wasn't a film shoot, that was an experience.
yeah.
So whoever that is, those are the type of people that I would love to work with. Anyone that can add value to me and that I can add value to them. I'm open.
I love
So
that.
yeah.
I love that. Well, I can say personally, Kimberly Skirm is wonderful. She brings that great energy. Another
Mhm.
person, Patricia Chica, she's a wonderful, you know her, right?
Yes.
With the chi energy, I love her. And but it makes a difference when you have good people and you're working. That's what it's about.
Yes.
And I agree with you thoroughly on that. Floyd, thank you so much. And is there anything else you would like to promote? Anyone else you'd like to say thank you or acknowledge?
Well, I would definitely like to, thank and acknowledge my wife, Tracy Marshall, because this is not an easy business. It is not. And I remember when I first got into this business and I told her, and she was like, "What the hell are you doing?" But she stood by me,
Yeah.
and this is not her lane by any stretch of the imagination. But, she was always with me on the red carpet when I had my award show. She always came to my film premieres. She bought me my first camera, ladies and gentlemen. That woman bought me my first DSLR, which was not cheap, a Canon. Which one is it? Whichever Canon it was really expensive, and she bought that for me. So I would like to thank her. I love her so much because
Yeah.
she has truly been someone that has been in my corner for the last 20 years with this endeavor.
This is what it's all about. And I feel the
Yes.
same way. You need a good partner I do have to say, in this industry. And I think that's so wonderful. So I'm thankful to your wife as well for being there. And Floyd, are you interested for any of the casting directors out there? Are you interested in acting? Would you be open to roles in an independent film, or are you? I just had to, because there's going to be people watching this.
You know what, AJ? I had thought about it because again, I'm retired. So I'm saying, oh, I could do this again. I could do that again. And I really loved acting, but it would really, for me, it would have to be a special role because I am not going to lie. This is full transparency, ladies and gentlemen. I've gotten a little lazy and having to study an entire script because when I was acting, when I would study a script, I'm not only studying my lines, I'm studying everyone's lines. So I'm learning the entire script. Now, I don't know if I would do that now, but I don't know if casting directors want to hear that. But I would consider it. I would consider it depending on the role. I would definitely consider getting back in front of the camera. Yeah, that that
Okay.
that sounds fun. That sounds like fun.
Doesn't that sound like fun? Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
I'm glad you said that. And so you never know because, there's independent film stories and,
Mhm.
and development and, um, you know, productions happening all the time. They pop up.
Yes.
And that's wonderful. Good to know. Thank you for that. And it's been such a wonderful pleasure talking to you. We're going to have to start
Likewise.
wrapping the show up soon. I'm so sorry we're going to have to do that, but
Oh, no worries.
I have one more question, if I may, and
Please.
I'm going to ask it. It is, I have this little heart stone here. This is always on my desk.
Mhm.
What is your heart message, Floyd, for the world? What is your
Oh
heart
my
message?
gosh. My heart message for the world is to just be kind to people and to love your neighbor. I was listening to a gentleman by the name of Pastor Howard John Wesley yesterday. My wife and I we watched him online, and he talked about truly loving your neighbor. And as we've seen in the last couple of years, there is a lot of hatred in the world. There's a lot of vitriol in the world. There's a lot of us versus them. But his message was, how can you truly say that you love God, but you hate your neighbor? The two don't go together because God is love. So can you truly love God and hate your neighbor? So my message, my heart message is love thy neighbor. Love thy neighbor.
I love it. I couldn't say it better myself. That's the top, that's the creme de la creme right there. That's the very best. Thank you so much, Floyd. It's been an incredible time talking to you. I hope you had fun and I've enjoyed this so much. And thank you again.
Thank you. And I had an absolute ball. I had more. I had a ball.
I had a great time too.
Yeah, this
Have
was
to come
fun.
back. Thanks so much.
Absolutely.
All right. Until next time, Floyd. Bye-bye.
Take care, AJ. Thank you so much.